Hey there, friends. Thank you so much for joining us on Weather Out West on this Monday, December 15th. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, and here's what we're tracking for you today. It is rainy and windy to start the new work week as a new atmospheric river takes aim at western Washington. I'm going to break down where they're going to see the greatest impacts. And Seattle's first alert weather coverage continues as part of Auburn, Washington is under an urgent level 3 evacuation order right now. We'll take you to Chevron there now that they're dealing with a gas leak after spending days soaked in floodwater. And once again, we want to thank you for joining us on Weather Out West. If you haven't joined us before, this is an hour-long show where we showcase what's happening weather-wise across the western United States. After a brief dry spell over the weekend, Seattle finds itself in first alert weather mode once again, and it's going to continue. They have team coverage there, and we're going to go take you to Kent, the Auburn City line, where many local families are still under evacuations. Seattle's Farah Jadran has more.
That's right. One area near the Trail Run community and Coppergate Apartments, they were on a go now as of Saturday night, late Saturday night, and that's still in effect. And a get set order is in place for a lot of neighborhoods just east and west of the Green River around the Auburn Golf Club. Behind me is that Chevron here on Auburn Way North. This has been underwater for days. You can see how high it is up against the doors here. There's still a work crew here trying to filter out gas and work on that leak that started up several days ago. Now here's a bird's eye view of this gas station, and in a little bit you'll see a view of those Coppergate Apartments that's just sitting in a big pool of water. We also know that several roads are closed. 167 northbound is still shut down for about 6 miles. Southbound lanes have reopened. There are 2 shelters in place. Ray of Hope and also the Auburn Event and Community Center are open for folks who need it. As of this morning, the Auburn City Communications Manager told me that about 40 people are utilizing those shelters. And if you need help right away, call 911. Auburn schools are still open today, but running on a 1-hour delay from the Monday start time, so an overall 2-hour delay. Green River College also closed down, but they had to stop pumping Saturday night because it became unsafe, and they described it as water with nowhere to go. And I've been collecting water in a bucket, and it will just sit here unless I have somewhere to put it. But that's the major issue folks are dealing with this morning. If you see a road closure sign, do not go around it. It's there for a reason. Live in Auburn, Farah Jadran, King 5 News.
Chelan County officials are ordering everyone in the Stehekin Valley to evacuate immediately. Stehekin was hit by catastrophic landslides, debris flows Thursday, wiping out power and critical infrastructure. The slides formed on burn scars left over from last year's Pioneer Fire and barreled into the remote village on Lake Chelan. The sheriff says the coming rain could trigger even more slides in the coming days. Just over 100 people live in the community. And some relief in Skagit County, where evacuation orders have lifted in Burlington. Many returned home this weekend to find their homes and yards still flooded. County officials are urging caution with the river expected to rise again in the coming days with more rain. And Burlington city leaders are hosting a town hall tonight so they can discuss the flood and its impacts. That starts at 5 p.m. at City Hall. Meanwhile, in Snohomish, flooding remains a concern as the rain is expected to bring the river there back to flood levels. Seattle's Savannah Welch is there where many roads are still closed.
And the big issue here is that flood water level rising again. There's about a couple of inches or so here in the roadway, but you can see how deep it gets over here with so much of Snohomish, some parts, especially low-lying areas, underwater this morning. There's a couple feet of water right there you can see with the fence, but a lot of significant water damage too to a lot of properties in the area, and a lot of people here are just bracing for this next round of rain from this next atmospheric river. Some roads near the Snohomish River are still closed, including the one we're on. We're on Lowell Snow River Road, and parts of Marsh Road and Riverview Road are also closed. Residents here are keeping a close eye on the Snohomish River, which hit a new high of 34 feet last week. Water levels dropped a bit overnight, but they're expected to start rising again throughout this morning. The Snohomish School District reopened schools today, saying floodwaters have come down enough to safely resume classes today. Crews out here will continue to be assessing the damage and also assessing roads as well. So you might see some new road closures today from the higher water level because of the rain we're expecting to get. So if you're heading out this morning, be sure to give yourself some extra time. Back out here live, you can see some roads are just really seeing a lot of water movement also with the river. It's crossing this whole street here. The field behind me, so a lot of extensive water damage to a lot of these areas, and so people are just again bracing for this next round of rain. Again, give yourself some more time, extra time if you're heading out, just because of all the road closures, and especially officials are reminding people to avoid flooded areas and not to drive through any road closures either. In Snohomish, Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
Thanks so much, Savannah. And after the break, I'll give you the forecast in Seattle. Welcome back to Weather Out West. I wanted to break down the forecast for you from here in Seattle, King 5. And you see on the left side of your screen, that is a view from our Queen Anne camera looking toward downtown Seattle. We can at least see the Space Needle, but we're not done with the rain. In fact, this is just the start of it, of a very active week. So let's dive right into it because I have a lot to talk about. You see all of that rain. This is the first round of this atmospheric river, but the good news is it's not going to linger like it did last week over western Washington, bringing us numerous rounds of rain and then all of that flooding. And then by the middle half of the week, we could have another atmospheric river take aim toward the west coast, but most of it may head toward Oregon and then into California, which will have the forecast from Oregon and California a little later. So here's a look at the breakdown, just the time-wise. The weather team actually just turned Wednesday into a first alert weather day as well. You'll see it on the 7-day in just a few minutes, but just know that Wednesday is one too, because the impacts from Tuesday are going to continue into Wednesday. So today we have heavy rain. Snow level is currently around 8,000 feet, dropping to about 4,500 feet later. Gusty winds, but we get some heavier rain into Tuesday and stronger winds. Also, we're going to get some big time snow up in the mountains. In terms of rain, we'll have one early this morning, and then we'll have another one, a round of heavy rain Tuesday evening into Wednesday. So we're going to have widespread gusty winds today with the wind advisory, but even stronger winds Tuesday and into Wednesday. Our impacts this week, it's going to be major river flooding again, though it's not going to be as widespread. It's really going to be those rivers that were hardest hit last week. So I'll break it all down for you. But down trees, power outages, debris flows, landslides likely because of how saturated things are and with the incoming 2 rounds of strong winds. We have that flood watch in place for much of western Washington through about Thursday, just because excessive runoff at this point will lead to flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, low-lying areas, and our typical flood-prone locations. And as of 10 a.m. Monday, we have about our flood warnings are in place for Cedar, Cowlitz, Green, Skagit, Snoqualmie, and White Rivers. Here's a look at some of the river level forecast. Again, as of 10 a.m., some of the hardest hit ones, including Skagit near Mount Vernon, it dropped to action stage. So not officially flood stage, but it is expected to crest on the 18th back in major flood stage. And then the Skagit near Concrete also, that's going to crest on the 17th, which is Wednesday afternoon. And it's not going to be nearly as high. The Snoqualmie and the Snoqualmie expected to get back up into moderate flood stage on Wednesday, but once again, not going to be nearly as severe. A look at some of the wind alerts we have in place. This is through tonight, 10 p.m., a wind advisory for much of western Washington, including Puget Sound, because we could have gusts 45 to 50 miles per hour, maybe up to 55 for some spots. But then that ends, and then now we have a high wind watch in place for pretty much all of western Washington. This kicks in Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. We could have gusts up to 60 to 65 miles per hour, maybe even stronger than that. And especially since everything is so waterlogged, this could trigger debris flows, landslides easily, and it could lead to some downed trees, power lines, and so on and so forth. Some spots may be placed under high wind warnings. We'll get the latest from the National Weather Service to see which areas could be placed under that later this afternoon, more than likely. Additionally, we have a lot going on. Thankfully, with our snow levels coming down into Tuesday night, we're going to get big time snow. Finally, in the Cascades and the Olympics, there is a winter storm watch in place for the Olympics and the Cascades starting tomorrow evening through Wednesday evening. Areas shaded in blue could get 1 to 3 feet of snow and gust over 60 miles per hour. Snoqualmie Pass being lower elevations may be closer to the 1 foot range, but 2 to 3 feet in some of the higher elevations. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some of our ski resorts opened before Christmas. So here's what the 7 days looking like. Again, we just, as of 10 o'clock this morning, went ahead and continued our first alert weather status into Wednesday because we'll also have those rising rivers, and then we'll have some of that heavy mountain snow that we mentioned and those strong winds. This is a view from State Route 167. Right now you see all of the floodwaters currently in place. We're also going to have more, again, river flooding. So if we get back into the forecast for you, I can also take a look at our Queen Anne camera. Once again, you see just poor visibility at this point. Here's a look at the futurecast because timing is everything, I know. So we have numerous to widespread showers this morning, and then up in the mountains, we're also going to get some rain. Thankfully, the heaviest rain is going to taper off into the afternoon. We may even get some sun breaks, but we'll also get another round of rain overnight and into Tuesday morning. You see how snow levels start to drop. You see the purples up in the mountains. That's indicating some more snow, but we'll get a break. And then here comes that heavier rain I was talking about, and then lowering snow levels. It's not even going to taper off until we head throughout the day on Wednesday. And in terms of rain totals, here you go. Through Wednesday night, we're looking at 1 to maybe 3 inches in the lowlands, and most of the precipitation that falls in the mountains will now fall as snow. And you see through Wednesday night, possibly over maybe 2 to 3 feet up in Stevens Pass. So once again, we are watching all of this very, very carefully, including those river levels, and we'll continue to bring the latest. If you live in the Western Washington area, we'll have full team coverage as the day goes on. So there's a look at your forecast, and we also want to pick things back up just to continue the coverage for you, and we'll bring you more forecasts. But it's also important to note Washington has not been the only ones affected by the atmospheric rivers. Our neighbors up north in Canada have been hit pretty hard too. British Columbia officials have also expanded flood warnings and issued evacuations for the southern part of the province. Certain areas were hammered by an intense downpour for 24 hours last Thursday. And Washington's southern neighbor, Oregon, was also impacted by the atmospheric river, as you heard us covering all last week on Weather Out West. The water on the Oregon coast is still high in some points, but it is receding. This is a picture from the Oregon Department of Transportation last week showing water at the edge of Highway 101. And luckily, things are calmer now, but Oregon is not out of the woods yet either. Chris McGinnis is tracking a wet and windy start to the week, along with some of the alerts in place.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Chris McGinnis. We have a really active weather week ahead. For starters, today, our Monday, rainy and breezy. The wettest part of our day already over in most cases. The rain will taper off to occasional showers and sun breaks. But it's going to be breezy. That's certainly a story. On and off wet tomorrow, and then really wet tomorrow night and kind of windy overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. And then beyond Thursday, Friday also look pretty wet as a third system targets the region. That one has a chance with lowering snow levels to bring some meaningful accumulating snow to the Cascade ski resorts. And I'll show you that in a second. We've been talking about that for a little while, kind of previewing that might be in the cards. It's increasingly likely as we're getting closer. So happy to report that. All right, for the here and now this morning, especially up to the Long Beach Peninsula, North Oregon coast down towards Tillamook, we've got a high wind warning at the beach until 1 o'clock and a wind advisory in the Coast Range. Wind gusts on the order of 40 to 50 miles an hour are possible there. And so if you're driving through the Coast Range particularly, those types of winds could be enough to bring down a tree or maybe some power lines. So really be alert if you're driving through the Coast Range today. And even in the valley, I mean, not that, 30 mile an hour winds, nothing to shake a stick at here. I mean, that's going to be a noticeable windy, breezy afternoon, I think, here in the Willamette Valley for today and this afternoon before that wind subsides. Then we'll get another round of wind, maybe just as strong tomorrow night. All right, as we mentioned, the wettest part of our day, I think we've already had it. We picked up about a half an inch of rain here in downtown since midnight. The steady rain is tapering off, but we will be peppered with frequent showers, I think, as we go through the day, although we may eventually shut those off later this afternoon. So the afternoon commute should be a lot less wet than the morning commute was. Futurecast also, interestingly, tries to poke some holes in the cloud cover, and that could do a couple of things. That could, A, help to warm the temperatures a few more degrees, but also allow us to tap into those gusty winds, which are just off the surface, up at like 4,000 feet. So pretty decent confidence that today's going to be a breezy day in the Willamette Valley, but eventually the rain should subside a bit. Speaking of the breeze, there it is, the flag there snapping in the breeze there atop the Umpqua Bank building. The breeze at the airport not overly strong, but it certainly looks a lot stronger than 7 miles an hour in downtown. Currently 56, by the way, at PDX, and we're on our way to a high of about 60 or 61, low to mid 60s out across the Columbia Basin. This is crazy warm, like over the top warm. Okay, so here's where we've been the last 14 days through yesterday. Portland is almost 8 degrees above normal for the month of December, and today will be another day in the 60s, I think, making our third 60-degree day this month in Portland. So we're into some rare air here for sure. Today's record at PDX is 59, and I do think we will surpass that. The warm air, of course, has been one of the reasons why there's just been no snow up at the Cascade ski resorts. That changes this week. This is the latest look at the GFS snow level here, which has it down below the Cascade passes here, starting as early as Wednesday night and staying there into and through next weekend. That would be great news. That could mean several feet of snow, potentially cumulatively, up at the Cascade ski resorts by Sunday or Monday of next week. So big changes coming there over the next couple of days. For now, it's breezy and it's mild with record warmth in the forecast today. Tomorrow, especially tomorrow night, is going to be another wet one into Wednesday.
All the rain we've been telling you about the past couple of days hitting western Washington has finally found its way to eastern Washington as well. Spokane has issued a weather impact alert for today until Wednesday. Nicole Hernandez has much more.
Good morning, I'm Nicole Hernandez in Spokane, Washington. We have a beautiful look right now over our Lake Coeur d'Alene where you can see not a ton. It's a little bit blurry, but not because it's actually blurry. It's just raining out there, and then the camera is shaking because of the wind. And the reason I'm showing you this is because of that. It's both rainy and going to be windy today, so a lot going on in terms of weather. We're actually under a weather impact alert for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday because of everything that's going on. It ends up being flood watches for parts of our region, wind advisories and high wind watches for both Monday night and Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then another round of rain after the round of rain that we're already dealing with right now. So a lot of our region getting rainfall right now. All morning long, we had this blanket of rain over the entire region, literally from Moses Lake and Omak all the way to the Montana border and Canada all the way down through the Palouse, covered in a light to moderate rain. As the day continues, it's going to start to break up. It's going to start getting more scattered. And then we end up with a break from the rain this evening. With that break, though, comes wind. And then we do that again. We get more rain, and then we get more wind, which is even more intense the next time around. So it's kind of a pattern that we're in right now, and that's why we're under the weather impact alert. By the time we hit Wednesday morning, we are dealing with wind still, and we get another round of rain. I kind of skipped the Tuesday night rain because this Wednesday morning rain is more intense. You can see some quite big pockets of intense rainfall through our region, as well as mountain snow. Our snow levels finally are coming down a little bit. By the time we hit Wednesday, our snow levels should be about 3,000 feet. So the Cascades going to get a good amount of snow from this, and then our local mountains hopefully getting the much needed snow that they need. Unfortunately, though, to get there, a lot of rain is coming, and because of that, we're seeing flood watches for Okanagan County and North Idaho. These are the same spots that were dealing with flood problems just last week from the rain we got last week. So now our reservoirs are full, and it's just easier for that rain to cause even more issue. So that's why we are expecting some potential flooding to happen again with this next round of rain and the one after that. On top of the rain now, we're also dealing with wind. We have wind advisories that are in effect from 4 p.m. tonight until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is for wind gusts moving its way through the region upwards of 45 miles per hour. 45 miles per hour isn't a ton. It's of note, but it's not going to cause any damage. That changes, though, Tuesday night into Wednesday. Those winds become very intense. We end up seeing 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts, which can cause damage. If we see that 70 mile per hour gust, that means trees will likely come down. Power very well could go out, so be very careful. And that's why we're under this weather impact alert, right? We're seeing a heavy rain. We're seeing strong winds. We've got high wind watches as well. So a lot going on, a lot to be careful of because there's the chance for more flooding and there's the chance for that wind damage as well. The other main thing happening is the temperatures. Today we have a chance of 55, which would break a temperature record for today.
And when we come back, we're taking you to Boise, Idaho. We want to thank you for sticking with us on Weather Out West. Tyson White is tracking a chilly start to the day in Boise, Idaho, with lows at or below freezing.
Boise, and we have got a busy weather week on tap, but let's start with today so far. Here for the Magic Valley, we're looking at temperatures that will be mild in the low to mid 50s here across the area. Twin Falls up to 55, 54 degrees today. Mostly cloudy skies. We could see a spotty shower or two push through this area later this afternoon and into this evening out there. It'll be a slight spotty scattered shower at best. Same thing goes for the central mountain locations today. We'll see a spotty shower throughout the early afternoon and late evening hours. At 49 degrees there for Sun Valley, mild for the day for the most part. West Central Mountains, this will be a little bit different story today. We could see some scattered snow showers as well as scattered rain showers throughout the day. We've been seeing some already out towards the West Mountain area this morning, and we're going to continue to see that throughout today and into tomorrow too. Temperatures in the low 40s there for the Long Valley. Out here for the western of the Treasure Valley, we're going to be seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 40s there in some places, 48 there for Nampa, a spotty shower or two through the early afternoon, and that'll start clearing out into this evening. Same thing goes for the Boise area. Spotty shower is possible here throughout the afternoon. Idaho City could see a rain-snow mix through the afternoon hours too, up to 52 degrees today for the Boise area. So let's talk about what we're expecting the rest of this week, because we do have first weather days, impacting days, that is on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that's because of the heavy rain that we're going to be seeing out of this storm. We're also going to be seeing some heavy mountain snow, 7,000 feet and above and through. As we go through the week, those snow levels will fluctuate. They'll go down, they'll come back up, and it just really depends on which wave we're looking at in this storm. We're also expecting to see some very strong winds out of these storms, gusts up to about 55 miles per hour in some areas, primarily south of the Snake River Basin, but we could see those gusts in places here in the Treasure Valley as well as the Magic Valley and the mountain areas as well. What that means is make sure your holiday decor is secured in your yard. Your neighbor's yard might look better if you don't have that secured. And also, if you're planning to travel anywhere in those mountain areas like Highway 55, Highway 95, and Highway 93 between Sun Valley and Jackpot, you could be seeing some slushy conditions. You could see some blowing snow in some places too. So you want to plan ahead and maybe give yourself some extra time or find a better pocket of a window to travel in that time. And of course, download the KTV Plus app to follow those live weather conditions with our live weather update there. Our rain chances the next day or two will be slim, but we will be seeing some scattered showers across the area. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, that's when things start to ramp up out there. We'll start to see the rain increase here in the valley as well as the mountain areas. Same thing with Thursday. That's when we really hit the peak of this particular portion of the storm. Thursday, things start to taper off just a touch, but Saturday we'll still see a scattered shower or two. Sunday, another system pushes through, bringing us another wave of moisture coming into our area. We've been seeing that coming in off the coast throughout this morning. We saw some showers, rain snow mix in the eastern Oregon area between Baker City and Pendleton. We've been seeing that push into the west central mountains throughout today as well. Speaking of the west central mountains, taking a look at Highway 55 near Smiths Ferry today. Wet road conditions. They were seeing some foggy conditions along the Long Valley area earlier this morning as well. Kind of gloomy out there as we're seeing those clouds sticking around. Time lapse here at May Marina, seeing that snow that did fall over the weekend or last week, still melting, still sticking around little places in the sun, in the shade there, but really cold conditions this morning. We're going to see that rain and snow pick up out there as well. So we take a look at our 7-day forecast. That's where we're going to be seeing those conditions today and tomorrow, really staying mild, staying dry for Tuesday for the most part. Might see a sprinkler or two in the mountains out there. Wednesday, that's when we start to see things really start to build up out there. Things are getting a little bit more dicey in travel in some of those mountain areas. So stick with KTVB and Weather Out West for your latest forecast right here for this big weather event this week.
Busy, busy, busy. And in the next half hour, we'll get a look at some weather around the nation. The PNW isn't the only place with extreme weather. Snowy conditions blanketed New Jersey with 3 to 5 inches of snow. You can see some people took full advantage of the winter fun while others were shoveling away. And you see the dog looks like he's having a good time as well with his cute little jacket. And in the Midwest, they suffered from frigid temperatures. It was one of the coldest games in Soldier Field's history, but the Chicago Bears still announced that about 54,000 people showed up.
Bears fans braving through dangerously cold temperatures today at Soldier Field.
This is Bears weather, man. I come to every game like this. If they tell me it's going to be cold, I buy the tickets right away. This is what I want to be out here doing.
As wind chills dip below zero today, fans still pulled up bright and early for their tailgates, doing everything they could to stay warm.
We got a propane heater, we got the food, and we got the booze keeping us warm, and you just got to dress a little bit warm. And
I don't know. There's probably 15 articles of clothing on me right now, and I'm perfectly warm.
This is nothing new. It's something we're used to. This is easy. Honestly, I'm wearing too much. I'm a little too hot right now.
The Bears had roving medical teams throughout the stadium, as well as 4 warming shelters in different areas to keep fans safe. Those fans say the sunshine did help out a bit today, as well as the Bears sending them home happy with a win.
The sun was on us at the start, so we got the nice warmth, and then it set, and then you really had to kind of keep yourself going. But, we were scoring touchdowns, we were making plays.
Nothing can stop the Bears. Well, it's certainly not cold in the desert, as you can imagine, at least not during the day. Phoenix is looking at some record highs for December. Meteorologist Ginger Jeffries has more.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. A look at your weather out west across the great state of Arizona, where, we are the warm spot of the nation with not just our run-of-the-mill gorgeous weather this time of the year, but we have elevated into record territory, and we're going to stay there. I mean, take a look at some of these numbers across the board. Understand, it's not just the metro. I'm not just talking about central and western Arizona. We're seeing near record conditions, through the rim and even high country today. Prescott, I'm talking to you. We've got 67 on the board for this Monday. Still a little bit of wind in Bullhead City. We've got 80 for Yuma, 80 in Tucson, and lo and behold, 80 is awfully popular today from Gila Bend into Phoenix. Now, as we look ahead, notice what's happening. Not major changes. I mean, even though we're introducing some mid-level clouds here and there, none of these clouds look to be bringing in any kind of precipitation value. Doesn't show any rain, doesn't show any snow in the 7-day forecast. However, we still have really nice nice conditions overnight for making snow. It is dry and it is cold. And as you can see here in the Valley of the Sun, we are earning our name, but temperatures spanning the next 7 days, between about 77 to 80 degrees. So not a major differential, but let's really focus on the next 24 hours ahead because we are looking at record conditions. Now, as I take you beyond that 24 hours and that 7 days, oh boy, we've got some changes coming in for everybody hoping for some more cooler, wintry type of weather. It looks like we've got some rain developing closer to Christmas. I will keep you posted on that. And right now it's only about a 20% opportunity, but of course that is a long range model. This is what's the talk of the town as advertised. We peaked at 82 degrees yesterday, smashing our standing record of 78. And in case you want to know, where are we supposed to be? About 66 degrees. So now as we get through this week, definitely looking for another round of record temps today. I think by tomorrow, look at these records. They're getting a little more healthy. Our records really have been on the minimal side. Upper 70s, that's not really much of a record. By Tuesday, the records are getting a little more healthy and our temperatures tend to trend under 80 degrees. So I think today is going to be the last day of record conditions for Phoenix. And again, similar situation for higher elevations. Flagstaff, you're pretty far from your record, but Prescott, I'm expecting you to set a record and we'll see around the Show Low area. So bottom line, it's hot because of high pressure, or at least I should say above normal, because man, if we had 80s in May, I think they'd give me the key to the city. But right now, we've got high pressure keeping all this moisture, another atmospheric river gearing up for the Pacific Northwest. And that high pressure continues to allow in some mid-level clouds. But again, these clouds aren't bringing any kind of cool air. They're just going to kick up the winds in some areas and keep us on the warm side. So yeah, from San Diego into Phoenix, everybody was enjoying upper 70s last week. San Diego's now scaled back a bit, but we're still, riding this high side for the next 7 days. Flagstaff, your numbers are going to be in the upper 50s and low 60s with overnights dropping right around the point of freezing. And here in the Valley, we've got record conditions expected today, but then we're going to draw back into the 70s and that should stay, with us at least through next weekend.
And Denver is also experiencing some unusual warmth during this time. Jaden Knowles and Kaylee Chalmers tell us what to expect in Colorado.
Well, I'm Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Jada Knowles here in Denver, Colorado, and today we are expecting another nice and warm day. We've been seeing these temperatures in the 60s. Today will make the 7th day in a row since we've seen the 60-degree temperature. 65 is what's in my forecast, 63 as we head into tomorrow, the upper 60s by Wednesday. So, of course, what is the main weather impact? And that is that heat. We're tracking that heat really the next couple of days and lasting throughout the week. Now, there is a weak cold front that we are tracking, but overall, temperatures will still be well above average. So here's the reason why, because of that high pressure system continuing to build in, and you can see really taking hold over our weather pattern. But then by the end of the week, talking about maybe by Wednesday, we see that dip in the jet stream, and that's going to send down a cold front, knocking our temperatures back to reality around about 2 to 3 degrees above average for this time of year. But we could be tracking some mountain snow as well, mainly for our northern mountains. But as we head into this afternoon, as I mentioned, we are still seeing the mid 60s with lots of sunshine, winds finally nice and calm as well. Looking at highs across the entire state today, we will see the low to mid 60s for the eastern plains. And really the last couple of days, the eastern plains have seen the cooler temperatures because there was a weak storm system just towards the north of us that was seeping down that cold air for the eastern plains. It wasn't quite making it towards us across the metro area, but 40s and 50s across the high country, and then also the mid 50s for the western slope. Here's your futurecast as we head into the rest of this afternoon, noticing we're going to see lots and lots of sunshine across the entire state. So if you have to be outside today, wear the sunscreen, but just really enjoy yourself because it's going to be nice and beautiful out there. Here is your wind gusts forecast, noticing some breezy conditions across the foothills, but that is expected. Really not seeing as much as the gusty conditions like we did see just last week on Wednesday as well as Thursday. But those winds will start to come back as we head into Wednesday, as we're tracking that cold front late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. And then next weekend, of course, still nice and warm. The upper 60s will make a return.
Yes, today is December 15th, but it certainly does not feel like it. Temperatures once again climbing into the 60s. It will be the 7th consecutive day of temperatures in the 60s. We can make that 9 because it looks like those high temperatures are going to climb into the 60s all the way through Wednesday. Will we reach a record high? That is the big question. Our forecast high for today, 66 degrees. Now the current record is 68. That was set back in 1921. So we are getting into record territory. Also want to point out that our normal high for this time of the year is 43 degrees. That's our normal high. We're already well above that. Outside the 9 News studios, we're at 49 degrees. We're at 47 in Central Park. DIA checking in at 52 degrees already. We're at 46 in Centennial. 49 degrees outside the 9 News studios. Winds are calm. Again, the winds are not going to be an issue today. The big story will be the warmth. Lots of sunshine and temperatures warming into the 60s by noon. And we're going to reach our high right around 2-3 o'clock this afternoon as those temperatures climb into the 60s across the plains. It is going to be a warm one. 7 days today. We're talking about 9 days by Wednesday. 67 your forecast high, but it is going to be windy. We have a front moving through. That's certainly going to help cool off the temperatures and break the 60-degree high streak on Thursday, but windy out in front of it. So expect some windy conditions on Wednesday. 67 degrees with the potential for some high fire danger as well. We'll be tracking that. Mountain snow moving in Wednesday into Thursday. Cooling off as well. We're going to top out right around 49 degrees on Thursday. Friday, another round of winds. So again, those temperatures warming back up into the upper 60s. So the potential for some fire danger and some concerns as well with the winds whipping up and those temperatures climbing to the upper 60s on Friday. We are mild and dry as we head into the weekend. 62 for high on Saturday, 58 on Sunday.
And coming up after the break, we'll round out your weather out west in the Golden State. Welcome back to Weather Out West. I'm Ashley Ruiz. Let's take you to Southern California where it's looking pretty nice down there. Vanessa Paz is tracking some dry and fair weather.
Happy Monday to you. I'm CBS 8 meteorologist Vanessa Paz here in beautiful San Diego, California. The weekend was perfect. We had the return of the marine layer, kind of kept us nice and cozy when it came to those morning hours. And then we saw a lot of those clouds start to mix out during the day, which made way for plenty of sunshine across the county. It was warm yesterday, but we didn't see excessive heat widespread. In fact, it looks like the warmest temperatures were confined to our mountains and desert areas. In fact, it was so warm in Campo that we tied an old record of 80 degrees set back in 2016 with a high of 80 yesterday. Meanwhile, San Jacinto also beat out their old record of 82 with an old record of 81 that was also set back near about 2016, 2017. All right, today we are looking at another pretty nice day in store, especially for the coastal areas. We're typically supposed to be in the 60s for this time of year, so average highs will be close to normal. We'll be in the high 60s in downtown as well as Coronado later on today. I'm forecasting low 70s for National City and La Mesa. High 70s for Santee and El Cajon. As we move on over to the North County, we are forecasting mostly mid to low 70s from Fallbrook all the way down to the Rancho Bernardo neighborhood. So those are neighborhoods right along the 15 corridor. High 60s from Oceanside all the way down to Carlsbad. 64 in Encinitas and 66 in Solana Beach. For the deserts, we are still going to be really warm. We should in fact be in the 60s for this time of year, and we'll be touching down in the low 80s for spots like Borrego Springs as well as Ocotillo Wells. Meanwhile, forecasting a high of low 70s for areas like Julian. Today we'll have somewhat of a northeasterly flow, that's offshore winds, and that will help kind of warm things up for us later on today. We won't see extreme heat like we did last week. However, we'll allow for those clouds to clear, especially as the morning and afternoon hours progress. As we take a look at our future forecast, we'll have a lot less clouds in the mix tomorrow morning. However, looking ahead to Tuesday night and Wednesday, it looks like we're looking at the fog making a return. So onshore flow kind of increasing a bit once it comes to Wednesday morning. And then by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, we see most of those clouds start to clear. As we take a look at overnight lows, it's going to be another cool one. So yeah, if you used the heater last night, you will likely need to use it again tonight, especially for those areas away from the coast. We'll bottom out in the high 40s inland. Most areas along the coast, mountains and deserts will bottom out in the low 50s later on tonight. Here's what's on tap for Tuesday versus normal. The coastal areas will be a lot closer to average than the inland valleys. The inland valleys will be anywhere between 5 to nearly 15 degrees above normal. And as far as the rain chances, unfortunately, we are not looking at any rain in sight over the next 7 days. When it comes to our water year numbers, though, it's good because we are in a surplus of about 1.5 inches or so. November's rain really gave us good numbers for the start of our water year. As far as the coastal and inland valleys go, here's what you can expect over the next 7 days. High 60s all the way through the middle of the week, and then we'll see about a 5-degree climb Thursday and Friday. So it looks like we have some minor warming towards the end of the week, and then looking ahead to the weekend, we will see temperatures kind of drop again. We are staying dry though. Overall, it's going to be pretty eventful over the next 7 days. However, we could potentially see some rain making a return for Christmas.
And moving up I-5, Sacramento is starting off the week with gray skies once again and temperatures in the 40s, but the weather pattern is finally expected to change as the week goes on. Meteorologist Rob Carlmark tells us all about it.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Rob Carlmark here in Northern California, and we've got a lot of changes in our weather. Now, recently, there's not been a lot of weather, to be honest. It's been cold, it's been gray, it's been really odd. And I'll show you that when you look at the calendar, just amazing consistency in the temperatures and the weather with a very big difference in the mountains. But going forward, what we have on our Monday is some patchy fog out there. For the valley, we're going to have some gray skies and it's going to be cool. But then once you go above about 2,000 feet in elevation, you're going to have mostly sunny skies, warmer temperatures. And for the Sierra, it's been a little bit mixed. It's dry. In the morning, it's cold. In the afternoon, it's been really mild and very close to record temperatures, which has been in the 50s and 60s. Now for the valley spots, we're talking about Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto. These are places right in the middle of California. Look how remarkably cold it's been this entire month. I mean, we've had one day where we were in the 60s, but that was it. We've been in the 40s and a few days in the 50s, but really the 40s. And what's amazing about that is that that's the high temperature is in the mid 40s. The low temperatures were in the low 40s, so 40s to 40s to 40s all day long. And because of the dry weather, we've started to slip behind as far as rainfall in our rain gauges. So it was off to a great start. We were above average for the whole state, but now, especially in far northern California and other spots, we're starting to slip behind. So that's going to change next week as we've got rain in the forecast. That's going to be really consistent for a while. In fact, I'm looking at almost every single day of the week of Christmas, starting on Monday, with rain chances in there. As far as what we're going to see in the near term, we've got our area of high pressure, which is breaking down. And we've got this low, which on the frontal edge, you know, you're really not too concerned about a lot of rain when you have it looking like this. But I do think that it's going to bust through and change the pattern. So at best, we get some light rain between Tuesday and very early on Wednesday, but it just changes the pattern. That's really what the whole point of that low is. It's really, really big. It's definitely going to affect the Pacific Northwest. And when you get the tail end of this, this is all you really get. Some overnight, very light rain and not a lot of snow. This is what we call like the warm before the storm. It's going to pull in a lot of southerly winds, a lot of warmer air. So that means high snow levels, rain at the very top of the mountains. But since it's such a weak storm, it's not going to do too much damage to whatever snow we already have. The next one starting to filter in is going to bring in some colder air, so we're going to watch those snow levels drop, and then it really sets the stage once we go into Christmas week. Colder air is in place. We get more consistent storms. It's rain, it's snow, it's what we need. But of course, snow is going to definitely be lacking because some of these early storms are very much on the warm side and higher snow levels as well. So for today, things are just kind of muddling around. We're looking at a mix of 50s and some 60s, a lot of cloud cover today. In the beginning, it's low-level clouds that we've seen for a very long time. And then as that breaks up, we get high-level clouds. So you're sort of trading one thing for another. But the end result is a lot of 50s out there and temperatures basically hovering in the same zone that we've seen for a while in the 40s. As we move into that system on Wednesday, a lot of warmer air, highs in the 50s, overnight rain, and then we're going to be watching the systems roll on in this upcoming weekend and next week as well.
Finally, as the holiday season is in full swing, some warnings about gift giving. We'll give you those details next. And experts are urging everyone to give gifts that are safe for your young children, as some toys pose a danger. Mandy Gaither has more on what to think about as you shop for presents this holiday season.
It's the season of giving, but experts say some gifts can come at a dangerous price.
Each parent has two eyes and a lot of things to do, and things happen quickly.
Dr. Maureen Almond with Cleveland Clinic says if you're buying gifts for young children, the first thing to stay away from is anything that has a button battery in it.
Kids can swallow those and the parents don't really realize it.
If the gift must have a battery, Almond recommends only buying ones that need a screwdriver to be opened. Next, avoid toys using artificial intelligence.
Apparently there's some toys that have AI features that will have conversations with the child, and this could obviously be very dangerous.
Almond says she also sees a lot of injuries from motorized vehicles like electric scooters or bikes, so she urges caution if these are on your child's list.
It is better, even though it's not flashy and doesn't seem super exciting, to get kids things that don't have all the bells and whistles, like books, puzzles, board games, things that make them use their muscles.
Finally, Almond says to avoid giving young children toys with small parts or anything that can break off.
A general rule of thumb is if the toy or a part of the toy that comes off fits through a toilet paper roll, that's too small for small children.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
That's going to do it for us here on Weather Out West on this Monday. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, and as always, we want to thank you for being with us today, and we'll see you right back here on Tuesday.